Real Madrid might be in for a generational kind of transfer window. We've already signed Trent. We've already signed Dean Howson. We're looking at bringing in a midfielder. And the club are going to address our striking options because we all know that we are missing a Joselu profile off the bench. We have no aerial threats from open play in this current Real Madrid squad. And you guys saw last season when we were struggling to break teams down, there was nothing different off the bench. If I'm struggling to break teams down and I'm bringing on Endrick, then how's that different to what I already have on the pitch? You guys saw when Joselu was here, an amazing one-season loan spell. The guy came off the bench, scored headers, bagged goals in important games. And the reason why a player like Joselu was so important is because teams have to defend him very differently. And Xabi Alonso has come in and he's identified that weakness in the team. I told you guys last summer, when we signed Mbappe, I was super gassed. But I said, us letting Joselu go to Saudi or whatever club he went to in the Middle East, that was a mistake. I told you we were going to miss this player. And people tried to gaslight me into thinking that because he's not a star-name player, it doesn't matter that he left. I think Florentino Perez not replacing Joselu was criminal last summer. And we suffered throughout this past season due to our lack of transfer business. But now, the club are not messing around. And they're saying that Xabi Alonso wants that profile off the bench heading into next season. My fucking manager. I'm telling you, I've been screaming about this for over a year. And the board, people at Real Madrid, they gotta be watching Football Carnage. Because all the things that I've been asking for, it seems like we're going to address it during this window. And now that you bring in a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, you need somebody that can come off the bench and get on the end of those crosses that he's going to put into the box. Because he can't be crossing it to Vinicius, who's like 5'8", Mbappe's like 5'10", Endrick is like 5'7", Jude is our tallest attacker, and the guy isn't even good with headers. I'm gonna be real, Jude wasted a lot of opportunities last season. He definitely has to work on that. So yes, a Joselu profile of striker is needed at the club. Think about it. This guy was so impactful in his one season at Real Madrid that we're now gonna call the tall strikers that we're looking at Joselu kind of profile. This guy, if it was not for Joselu, we don't even win the UCL. Let's not forget those 2 goals that he scored against Bayern in the semifinals of the UCL. Let's not forget about the goals that he scored coming off the bench to help us win La Liga. What a player he was for us. And we definitely need to get somebody else that has that same build/mold. So I need you guys to get in the comment section because there have been a few names that have gotten thrown around. And one name stands out a lot more than the others do. And I think we've found the player that we need to sign. Reports broke a few days ago saying that Xabi Alonso wants a Joselu type of striker at Real Madrid. It's very clear to him that the profile is needed. Now, Stevie Wonder could have told us that, right? You don't even have to know ball or have eyes to see what was missing in our attack in games that we were struggling. How many times were we spamming crosses into the box and nobody's there to get onto the end of it? It was super jarring. And I'm pretty sure that Carlo Ancelotti would have wanted us to replace Joselu last summer, but the board didn't back him. But they're backing Xabi Alonso. And this guy is, I'm telling you right now, Xabi Alonso is going to be the manager that brings us back to greatness. I think he is going to be a success at Real Madrid. I think this guy, by the time it's all said and done, is going to be considered one of the best Real Madrid managers. I have very high expectations for him. And all the news that's coming out about the things that he wants to address, the way that we're going to play football, what he said in his press conference, I'm super excited for Xabi Alonso. Like, the club are backing him fully. And there's going to be high expectations next season if we pull off most of these signings that we want to do. Now, let's continue, right? So, in terms of the profile that we're looking at, right? It says Real Madrid want to sign a striker. They're looking for another Joselu. See, that's the key word. So, here's the 3 criterias. A veteran player, experienced, and he is going to be at a reduced price, right? Now, we all know, I've talked about this throughout the season. If I could have my dream signing for a striker that we can bring off the bench, I would go to Atletico Madrid and I would take Sorloth. Okay, Sorloth for me, that's who I would love to have at the club. Now, realistically, not going to happen, right? Sorloth was super important for Atleti, came off the bench for them, and I think he fits that profile perfectly. But he's going to cost way too much money. The club are not going to do that, right? And there are other players that do fit the profile. So let's actually talk about it. Now, before we get into the real options, I just want to address this report right here. So they're saying that Real Madrid are considering a move for Rasmus Højlund after Xabi Alonso requested the club sign a number. Let me tell you something right now, brother. If we sign Rasmus Højlund, I will have the most epic crash out on this channel that you will ever see. Rasmus Højlund is ass, okay? I would rather have a 5-year-old player in Real Madrid's academy come off the bench than sign this absolute scrub. There is no way in hell that Real Madrid are looking at him. I am not taking this serious. I don't know who the source is, and I don't care. Okay, Fabrizio Romano could tweet that we're looking at Højlund, and I would refuse to believe it. This guy is an absolute scrub. He is one of the worst strikers that I have ever watched, bro. He has single-handedly been responsible for Manchester United not being able to score goals. This guy just does cardio every single week. No way in hell are the club looking at him. I just wanted to address that because I have been seeing this report get thrown around. Now, to get to the real options that we're looking at, right? So it says Real Madrid want a striker. They want a very specific profile, a low-cost veteran pure striker who can be a threat in the air and score headers. Budimir, Roberto Firmino, and Willian José are among the options. Now, Budimir is the player that I want. The guy has a release clause of $8 million. I believe he just finished 3rd in La Liga with goal scoring. He scored 21 goals for Osasuna. Imagine what he can do at Real Madrid, where he'll get a lot more opportunities and he'll get more goal scoring chances. This guy would be the perfect signing. He's about 6'3", 6'4". He's 33 years old, right? He's not going to cost that much. Like I said, only $8 million they're talking about with his release clause. 21 goals in La Liga. He absolutely carried them. And he checks off all the boxes that we need. And of all the other options that are listed, right, he's the one that I don't think would need any, what's the word? You know when you sign a new player and they need like an adjustment period? Because Budimir has already been in La Liga thriving, he's not going to have to get adjusted to the league. He already knows what it's like to go up against most of these teams. He's going to be in the box. He's going to be able to score these headers. And I think this is the clear-cut #1 choice that the club should be looking at. I would get this deal done before the Club World Cup. I would like to have a striker off the bench that's an aerial threat before that tournament starts. And the thing is, I know that Endrick, this might affect his minutes, but at the same time, Endrick, I just don't think is the profile that we need when we're struggling. I still rate Endrick, and I still think that there's ways for him to get minutes, but I don't think that we can not address an aerial threat because it might affect Endrick's development. Maybe we just send him out on loan. But Budimir, this is the profile of striker, and he checks off all the boxes on top of already being La Liga proven. Now, another name that got thrown out there was Roberto Firmino. And I rate Firmino, right? At Liverpool, the guy was a baller. But he's not a proper number 9, right? Joselu is like a 9.5. He's like a second striker. He's a 10/9, okay? The guy drops deep, hold-up play, right? Very similar profile to like a Benzema, right? He's like the diet version of Benzema, right? Drops deep, links play, brings your wingers into it, gets his teammates involved. And he's not that tall. So I don't think he fits the profile that we need, right? I know that he's in Saudi, he's at Al Ahly, and I think he is going to be leaving over the summer, but nah, for me, yes, he's a veteran. Yes, he's not going to cost a lot of money, but at the same time, he's not necessarily an aerial threat, right? Good player, but for me, nah, I'm gonna be real. Like, don't need him, bro. And he's on super high wages in Saudi. Is he gonna be willing to take a pay cut? Who knows? And then the third name that got thrown out there was Willian José. Now, I don't believe that Jose plays for Betis anymore. I think he plays in Brazil, but I don't want him. Out of the three options, this is the guy that I want the least, okay? He was a decent striker, but for me, he's just not as good as the other two. The guy's in Brazil. I don't think that he's even tearing it up over there. Actually, let me pull it up, right? Yeah, so the guy plays for Bahia. In Brazil so far, let me see what he's doing. In the league, 9 games, 2 goals. Yeah, nah. I don't think anybody can convince me that him or Firmino would be a better option than Budimir. For me, Budimir is the guy. Like, he understands, right? Like, this would be a dream move for him. 33 years old, going from Osasuna to Real Madrid. Activate that release clause. I'm pretty sure that he's not on a lot of money as well. Could maybe give him like 75K a week, right? Maybe even 100K a week. And I'm pretty sure he would be very happy to sit on the bench and actually play for the best team in the world, in my opinion, right? This guy is at Osasuna struggling. He's not going to win nothing, right? He's going to be there and just going to be mid-table, bottom half table. He comes to Real Madrid. You're going to be fighting for a league title. You're going to be in the UCL. You're going to be in competitions that you've never been a part of. You're going to win things that you've never won. Budimir is the guy. This is who we need to reinforce our bench. I'm so happy that Xabi Alonso has identified that this profile of striker is needed because we all recognize this. I'm telling you, the club, they watch the channel. But yeah, smash that like button, subscribe, tell me who you think the club should sign, and we'll be back, right? Because I'm pretty sure these rumors are not going to die down. Holla Madrid!